Attention, on dit quoi là-bas?
Yeah. Abosowo, one more two, and I'll say Papashanti, and then minute, you know.
Papashanti.
Minute that I say, ja, and then in why did too. And before that to cry, you know. Big shout out to Be Out Share one more time. Let me shout. Jill 2. Yeah, well, Kelvin, what I say, and then what Nana Lawrence in the building. What I say, Team Wyatt there, right? But before, we were discussing about like why, like I said, Ghana, the whole Ghana, like there's no creativity, right? And maybe then I was saying, it should be there, but then Nana Lawrence, it can be beside. I think said that the educational system, is not set up for us. For the people in Ghana to be creative. Right. To me, I disagree because most of the people, also, they went through the educational system, and still came out with creative mindset, creative ideas. You know what I mean? Yeah. At the end of the day, I feel like it depends on the person, not or per se. Like if so, when you're motivated enough, you're not gonna have the drive to be creative. Because to be creative means that you have to ask more questions. Right. You have to be curious. You have to be a creative thinker. Yeah. What I say? So it's not necessarily like education, because you will be hard to me, or you're creative enough, but one go school, as in we talk about the school system. Mm-hmm. But naturally, or you're creative enough. I mean, what do you guys think?
So, okay. Your educating system now in Ghana, right?
Yeah.
A lot of people, who went to school in Ghana, myself included, right? Mm-hmm. I mean, we're
yeah.
Uh-huh. So we hear a lot of people who went to school in Ghana, myself included.
Right. Yeah.
We are thought to follow, science and math, we like the heroes.
Yeah.
I say no money my dear. So we hear like visual art students, maybe our general art students now. They are kind of looked as so from that perspective, growing up, we always, see that maybe 1 + 1 is 2, 2 + 2 is 4, It's the only way to think. There's not, a train of thought whereby, you have your own opinion, and, if you derive at an answer, even if the answer is wrong, you can support your answer with a justification. Teacher Nebeka say you are collaborating why I did. Rebecca say no. Because the answer is always determined, right? So with that perspective now, we kind of, swayed away from, their creativity and, being open-minded and open thinkers, to just following a principle.
No, you're absolutely right. The way I see it, I feel like creativity, it's almost like it's a privilege in a way, right? You're colonizing inside from, who knows when, right? And what that does is it builds your mind in such a way you don't have freedom, because people who are the most creative are the most free,
right?
So when you're freedom, you can't be creative, and if you look at the history of Africans, you can see that our freedom was taken away from us a very long time ago. Right. And side history, we can't deviate that from what's happening today.
Right.
It's very connected. Into the same way the white man can look at their history book and be like, wow, like we went out, conquest, the world is ours. We can think whatever thoughts we can.
Yeah.
We can accept what we want to accept. Answer yes, no, I can challenge.
Right.
The black man, in your history, we've been the victims of the system, right? And so most of our institutions are basically built that way. Built to follow a set rules.
Right.
And encourage you and say, you are the master of your life, and you are the master of whatever you think, and so you should take the liberty to challenge certain things, to ask questions, to we're always looking for a savior, but it's not a fault of ours. It's not a fault of ours.
Exactly. So it's just the upbringing and the structure, right?
But then you know, I think say I could agree to disagree with both points, right? I'll say this, right? Still now, there's some folks we are within that same system, and they were able to come out and and show their willpower to create something, to make something happen, to become business entrepreneur, like to move up the ladder. What did I say? To change, the whole stigma,
Right.
against their muke.
Right.
What did I say? So that means that yes, there might be a fallout in the educational system, which is fear and being suppressed and thinking said you are inferior, right, to your masters. You know what I'm saying? So you can't do nothing about whatever idea be we put to might on to say we build the piano any because master and car say you good and you good.
Right.
What I say? But will be buy out because say on the obey me aye. On to me I don't know on the one could in a cheap. Still no, we focus on the
Yeah. I have a quick one before you.
Before I jump in, okay,
The way I see it, I feel that the first thing is we have to acknowledge that we are creative. The Africans are actually very creative. Our creativity is different,
right,
from what we see in the West. I see my mic in here some way back.
No, I think say Mike no there.
Okay, it's all right.
Abosowo.
Yeah, the boss.
Yeah.
But
Yeah, this is way better.
Yeah,
This is way better.
Anymore. Yeah.
All right,
To be
bet.
okay, yeah. This one.
So I think that's the first part, is to acknowledge, saying your creativity, is not necessarily the same way, the same creativity that we know in the West.
Right.
We have very creative things that Africans have done throughout history that obi want on Jindi.
Yeah.
I mean, there's so many scientific, mathematical innovations and things that are beyond our minds that were invented by Africans, that are beyond.
Right.
To say obi kachewa my baboso.
Right.
About because I mean chawano may they be no I continue because the panty mean jin be on nim say yeah I be in a yeah African in a yeah. You see what I'm saying? It is all by catch and said throughout our history, we were able to do this, come out from this, being able to be a leader and so on. In the track, your track system, the timeline, in this system, ni musabium.
I want to interject real quick because with our whole structure and how we were brought up, right, and Castro, to your point, right, I feel like there are creative people in Africa, right? But if you look at every rule, there's always outliers, right? There are people who will be an exception to the rule, but I think majority of the population, look up to the Western world when it comes to from a creative standpoint, or what everything that has been predefined, and they just have to follow it, right? So if you look at Africa, Ghana to be precise, all the people that we consider as creative thinkers, are implementing stuff that you could find in the West, and they're just doing a cut and just pasting.
Cut.
Yeah, they're just doing a cut.
They're not even creative.
Yeah, they're not creative because not to talk down on them. But
Right.
A lot of them are creative, but then we live in the West, and we could tell that hey, McDonald's is here. We talk about a lot of things like offline about things that we have in mind in Ghana. It's all based on things that we're seeing here, right?
Yeah.
We've never really seen that, an African. It's very rare to see say it's never happened before.
Yeah.
There's always things that are in the Western world. So to Kelvin's point, the whole thing about civilization and us being colonized, right, and looking up to a certain a culture as the hallmark of that defines our culture,
Right.
So I just feel that overall creativity is something that is just lacked within our community,
And it's been based on the Okan, right, before you go, it's you think that it's been there, for years, even before this whole slavery, discussion, like the transatlantic, triangular slave trade and all that.
Yeah.
It's been there before even the inception of that event and all, right. To me, I can also agree to it because say they call that history now. Then you better say what really happened before what I said. Then year before that. Let's talk about even 100 years before the whole inception of slavery. We're not talking about the Arabs slave trade, which happened like around the 8th century, but before the triangular slave trade, no. To me, a year like a benchmark. A year, I would say okay, when you go to West Africa, I'll go East Africa, I'll go Southern Africa. You see this item is here, this material is here. It was built by our ancestors. It still exists.
To be honest, and then there are a lot. That's the truth.
Okay.
I don't want to sound like you're a historian.
Yeah.
I mean, I can't just name things, but I've read enough and I've seen enough things that will basically challenge all the things that we think about Africa and our ability to be creative. Was that the Egyptians crown on the things they were able to accomplish, the Moors, even in sort of like the area that's now Chad area, the South Meadow. They have so many things that they accomplished but we're not. You have to read, but again, see, I also think creativity in Nankasano, it is something that is like a value system, right? Where do you rank creativity? If you are a people and you have to find a job, you have to find food to eat, you have to fight off the people who are trying to colonize you, your priorities are ranked in a certain way. Creativity comes out of a place of freedom. I said it before, right?
Right, yeah.
It comes out of a place of feeling, say, okay, can I let my brain go somewhere?
Right.
But if you're always in a position where you're striving for something and you're struggling, it's going to be hard for you to be creative. And that is the plight of, you might ask, why is it that African Americans came, I guess, were shipped here against their will, and there's so many inventions in America that African Americans invented. But African Americans were Africans.
Right.
They were just Africans who were moved from Africa to America. So a different environment, different systems. There's nothing really intrinsic about the black man's body that makes them less creative. It's about the conditions that you're in. And I don't have time to be creative. I got to find food to eat. What are you talking about?
Right.
I think that a lot of times that's the challenge that we have.
Right. Yeah. And just to add on to what you just said. So from a positive affirmation standpoint, a lot of African Americans, coming to America, they got out of that box, right? The white people, made them feel like they could think beyond their capability. But if you look at our culture, we're still in that box where you cannot think beyond a certain measure.
Right.
Right. So it hinders your ability to, just fly and, be who you are and get out there and just explore.
And I think you were asserting to earlier conversation that we were having that even Africans in America, or let's say Ghanaians in America, some of us, we find it very difficult to even voice our opinion when it comes to our job environment, making decisions and being creative. We kind of tend to be shy, on the side where we always see to wait for opportunity to arise based on someone's information provided. What I'm saying? So I think maybe to me, that one is there. What I say? the education, the fear, the whole history, is playing a part of this whole, conversation I have it.
Castro, let me add this. Our education system, it's very hard to come out of it creative. I mean, you're gonna have to be born creative.
You mean back home or you mean back home or
yes,
I say
back home.
Okay.
It's either you have a gift,
right?
Because I believe that. I believe some people have gifts,
right?
So it doesn't matter where you put them. They can just think some way,
right?
Or sing or act or do
I
something.
say I know that. I have some issues with it. Like, in Ghana, we'll be all thinking that way. They say so weird.
You know
what I'm saying? And I remember why. So then, at that time,
it just cuts off, right?
So that's another level. That's another problem as well. Socially, we don't support, we don't encourage people to think outside the box, be creative, follow their passion.
But also, just to interject, if you look at the creative mindset and thinking outside the box and being open thinkers, right? There's pros and there's cons, right? Yeah. Obviously, the cons is you can come up with ideas that nobody ever imagined.
That's the pros.
But the con is diverting from our values and our core principles as a community. So from an upbringing standpoint, our culture versus the American culture, we have values, we have norms, right? Yeah. That we follow. You got to respect the elderly, right?
That's facts.
So these are the things that comes with it. That we should also consider, right?
Yeah.
That, hey, even though we are not creative, we still stay true to our core principles.
So social
right?
culturally, there are limitations that inhibit creativity in a way.
Yep.
Yeah, now is that. Well, first of all, the idea of challenging is part of creativity. If you are brought up to never challenge, you can never be creative.
Right.
If you're not encouraged to ask questions, ask why, or even try to do something that no one would like, it'd be like the general public won't accept, you will never be creative. But that is what our culture is built on.
Yeah.
Customs, rules, traditions, and
yeah.
that is basically the antithesis of creativity. Is like the opposition. You know what I mean? As a classic.
Yeah, and maybe I catch you say Misana, me be out, and they used to say, Castro, everything be out, be challenging me.
Right.
Why are you doing this? I don't know. Yes, sir. But say, for me.
Yeah.
The American say why,
but I know now you're collaborating.
No, I know that.
And it also kept you in check because
it did. It did help.
Look at how you turned out, right?
And kind of rules.
But it's not. No, but it's not because of that. My ability to challenge you was to learn. My ability wasn't to turn around and be like a troublesome child, right? My ability is to learn. Like, why are you? What is this? And then see your culture, it's not in place for people to like give you like the actual definition of what they're doing. Yes, sir. Any system, ni musa, cause on him so catch you oh yeah, kola.
Okay, your papa so be speech. So like I said, I don't hear for.
but also from a point of Otiakola, right? If that leeway is given now, that the child might take advantage of it.
Right.
So in the early years, you have to put the child in check.
Yeah.
So they want to meet and go beyond that. So I think for you, looking at what your grandmother or what your grandfather did to you, it's just more preventing you from getting to that point.
My grandfather he helped me a lot.
Getting to that point where like there's no turning back or going back.
Yeah.
So what's say I'm just out of here.
No, it wasn't like that. So then
they try to prevent that.
The first time I went to Ghana, and like the people I grew up with was like, hey, now you see, but I was like, no, I wasn't like that. I was just asking questions, and that was it. I don't know percent Miss Swensu. I'm like, I don't know percent Miss Swensu. Me de kwa yeden. I don't know what now the
America.
But before we continue, let me this show is sponsored by Game Nana. Game Nana. It's all about networking for the game owner and gamers as a whole. Game Nana is the new way of selling used video games without the middleman makeup prices. Game Nana helps video game owners save enormous discounts on video games consoles, controllers, and releases. Now until Black Friday, FIFA 21 is selling for $39.99 on Game Nana Marketplace. Now I'm gonna tell you this: Game Nana is not. It was created by a Ghanaian, Ghanaian ownership, and then we discussing about creativity. You know what I'm saying? Let me play this video. Before we continue this whole discussion. It's amazing.
Tired of your video game? Now you can sell it and buy a new one in the same place. Game Nana is a unique platform that allows you to trade your used or new video games and accessories for a better price. All you have to do is download the Game Nana app and simply start trading. Join our free gamers community now and make extra cash in just a few clicks. Game Nana app, same games, different prices.
Now, like I said, Game Nana is available on all platforms. The iOS, Apple Store, and also the Android or Google Play Store. It's available there. Go out there and download Game Nana. Subscribe to Game Nana and cost cheap. Ubetimi anya o PS1 games are wafe. Ebi obi o person bo winning 11. Ninya Pro Evolution PES ninya wo ho. Obi o say FIFA 99 satam na be di pele mu PB konokoto. Cheap. I mean, so Game Nana, game na F. But before I think it's now more KBB.
I don't remember where I was.
Yeah.
Nah, yeah. Okay.
But let me switching it up. Let's bring it back. To
bring it on there.
Bring it back to America, and we share us being like first generation, second generation Americans growing up, right? And what do you guys think about the differences between like what we are doing currently versus when our parents or our grandparents came here, and what we can do to be better or continue to hit that projection of from a generational wealth standpoint, and living a good legacy for the kids coming up after us.
Yeah, I mean, I think the first thing, and I don't mean to get back to the education thing because we just talked about it, but that's the biggest jump from our parents and our, because we are seeking knowledge. And when I say education, I'm not just talking about school.
Right.
We are getting all kinds of education, right? From, we have more developed social circles now, right? Everyone is in some group, some affinity group.
Right. Everyone
is on some social media platform. And now, obviously, with the social media thing, we are more connected. We have more access to information. Right. I think we're just positioned to do better. Because of all of these things. But I think now, this last few years especially, I think there's a strong desire for people to take their stuff back home.
Right.
That's their knowledge, their whatever they bring, they have all their skills and things like that. I think that's one of the biggest differences I see. People wanted to build their houses, and that was it. Right. Mm-hmm. But I think our generation, we want to be part of the development
in Africa,
of our continent. So,
and I think we'll share your parents from a foundation standpoint. Sometimes at parties or hangouts, I hear a lot of guys talk about your parents by America, they did nothing,
shit,
and I get bothered by that, right? Because I'm looking at it solely from the standpoint of setting the foundation blocks and just continue on what they did. Because when they came to America, they had to think about sending money back home, taking care of the family. So they had to forego a lot of their sacrifices that we're enjoying currently, right? They were hustlers, right?
I don't need a family, though.
Right. So, I mean, from a standpoint of this is our time to build upon, what our parents worked so hard for. Right. Mm-hmm. And a lot of people are always seeing that it's from a competitive standpoint, right? But I'm seeing at it from hey, we got to pick up from where they left up. whether your parents left up from ground 20 or ground 0, you got to build upon it and stop worrying about, hey, the old man to my and the old to me, right? And you made a point about a lot of people are thinking about moving back.
Yeah.
But I think people see Africa as an investment tool, not more so of moving back. But they just think that, hey, we can set up a business back there and it could grow and we could be millionaires, right? But I don't think people are committed to be part of the day-to-day struggles and day-to-day lifestyle of the African. So
I think we will talk about that after this discussion.
Right.
Why people are not committed.
Right. So I mean,
into moving in.
Not to say I do agree with your point, but I think there's this more greed, money attachment to this whole going back, doing things than being part of the community and growing the community and impacting the things that we have learned overseas, to the people back home. So
me, I think I mean, we have some differences with what our parents did. Depending on the situation and how you compare, and contrast. But like I feel like if you guys stayed on the positive, I always want to be neutral a little bit or maybe like different. I think if our parents, some of the parents were able to acquire maybe like or buy a house, home. The time if they realize that building a house in Ghana is not really relevant versus having a home here, which will the equity will always grow.
Right.
That's like wealth right there. If our parents knew that, what I'm saying, it was already in the system, but they just weren't able to ask questions to understand, what wealth is about. The whole mindset was, we come in here, we want to come, back to Ghana. Meanwhile, the focus is not in Ghana. What I say? But for us, like you guys are saying, most of your focus, is to go back to Ghana and help build it. But the only issue facing that helping build it is the people and then the government. What I say? The people and then the government. Because to me, listen, we know we have our families. We are more Bahabe in 1970s. They had the same mindset as us to go back and build. What I say? But then when they came into the system, it wasn't very supportive.
Right.
All my ideas was rejected.
Right.
What I say? I feel like say they're dorsal. We come in as a pack.
Right.
So we have room to create something for children on Beba.
Right.
What I say? I think so. Whatever we want to do, coming from the diaspora, we can create something for your children. And your children also ababe hold you on into it. Normal so at the ideas and build it on. I'm assistant BB. I said we want to see some growth.
Right. So, Kasha, a question for you. So, do you think that Ghana is ready for technology from an automation standpoint, right? Because Ghana is like standard of living and how a lot of people make money.
Right.
Cutting corners, taking money behind, closed doors, right? So we have this technology mindset.
Right.
We want to automate everything, make everything nice, smooth, right? And, people back home are also thinking that, hey, you're possibly, taking away my daily bread, right?
Right.
So I can see the plight of a Ghanaian, man, in Ghana trying everything within his means to prevent that from happening, right?
Yeah.
So it's not the government, but it's just the way of life and, how ready they are to accept, the automations and technology and yang and money take you back.
See, we are always ready.
Right.
It's all about implementation and execution. Sometimes, your idea maybe won't pay.
Right.
But still, later on, maybe 6 months' time, you're good. When you join, you kind of first, Rebecca said, no, idea ready and nah, I don't want to go with it because I bet, and I say, I bet cut it off some scabby air, but if we change me by. but who say be a ban benefiting no. In the future,
Obana be benefiting, but think about
with them person me trying to say, now no Ghana for they always thinking about themselves, right? They don't think about the future as in almost ban so bad. Almost ban so bad. What's going to happen? Maybe what?
But let me add this because I think that's a great question with the technology. I think technology has two sides. It has pros and cons, right? And not just in Africa.
Right.
I mean, obviously for Africa, modern technology is a sort of like a leapfrog for us, right? We're skipping industrializing, and we're skipping so many things, manufacturing, all these things that these modern societies were built on before they got into the technology where we're skipping them.
Right.
Which can be good and bad, right? Because, you talk about people living off sort of the manual system and making money and basically, finessing the system.
Exactly.
Right? Because it's all manual.
Right.
And the moment technology comes into the equation, it's like, we don't want this software because at this point, if I use this, I can't take 5 Ghana from everybody that walks in. That's a legitimate concern to have. If I was them, I'd be concerned.
Exactly.
However, it's the same thing as America, right? Every time some crazy technology is being implemented in a company, guess what? People are afraid of their jobs, right? Because that's what technology does. Technology sometimes can make your job disappear. Not just the money that you're taking on the side, but your own job, it can just disappear because technology just came.
That's another story.
Right? So that's part of the reason why people are not, some people are, it's not just that, me, 5 Ghana from the side every time, but it's also like, you guys keep bringing this tech stuff. Yeah. Before we know, you won't need any of us.
Right.
And you're just using technology.
And I think just to add on, also, I think one of the biggest keys is the standard of living in Ghana, right? If you look at from an income of how much individuals, working for the government or private firms are making in a year or in a month, right? If you have to solely rely on that salary, there's a lot of things that you can't get done. From a standpoint of, the basic fundamental needs in life, like providing for your family, taking your kids to good schools and stuff like that, right? So a lot of people depend on these things to survive. So we can implement the technology, but the government also has to think of a way that they could improve the standard of living and how much these people are earning so that you wouldn't be so bent or, relied on, the technology that you're implementing. It wouldn't affect you. So
what you're saying, right, is so true because, and the sad thing about it is that the bosses, they know that the people that are working under them are doing these things, right? The government, the people they hire, they know what's going on. And they accept it because they know they're not paying them enough money.
Right.
So they know if I'm not going to pay you enough money, then you might as well finesse, use the systems that we're not going to talk about it. Because it's not legal or it's not appropriate, but we know we don't pay you enough, so we're not gonna stop you.
But I think I get everybody's point. My problem is with the whole system. It seems like even the rich folks, they are comfortable with where they are, and they are the ones that kind of acting like a bridge between change.
But then how did a lot of these rich folks become rich? It just goes back to that's the point we were making.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
So they became rich solely taking advantage of the system that we are trying to help fix.
So then when the let's say we don't have a minority maybe.
Right.
When the lower class trying to come in and change it or force for a change protest. They will come in and say, "Hey, take this bag of gari, this bag of rice,
right, and just cut it out." Right?
You know what I'm saying?
It's over.
Yeah,
right.
It takes a lot of it takes a lot of courage to invest in something long term, right? I mean, that's what the West they figured out.
Abosowo show na omayan abrofo show. Brofo, abo we kontomre I wish kontomre.
Oh no, man. No, but seriously though, it's just,
I'm over trim be na we Ghana for.
Yeah, go ahead.
Oh man.
no, but I mean, if you think about it, the West, right? You look at the way that they invest in certain things. Obi betimi invest in say ne san kan the returns. The background san kan. Maybe the grandson and the binya. But they're comfortable with that mindset. Long-term mindset.
Right.
You might not get the benefits today, but you know, it's something that, you know, my kids and my family can benefit off of.
Right.
It's a mindset that we don't have, right? Everything is like now.
Yeah.
What can you do for me today? We'll talk bag of Gary Mami. That's it. Like, so, and the people who are in positions of power know that if you can satisfy people at that moment, you got them.
But then on Honor more issue because, you know, I just feel like we just taking, you know, advantage of these folks and not even trying to change the system. You know, I seen like what the Gary Akomano, what the Amwa Komano, what the Angwa Komano, but then no ne kwanya of Fasuko Jumano
Predicament still.
Yes, you know what I'm saying? Now I don't know if you guys saw the video of I think Neka Swa potholes.
Right.
I don't know why no untimi nchusu say bia me dodge afa how, you know. What you know pothole na be chusu say, you know. And I want to say, you know what? Maybe say me time because I had okay, mommy. Bro, it doesn't make no sense to me. You know, I just feel like we have a long way to go.
So, I think it also boils down to
with the AMU.
Yeah, because for me, I'm not bound to.
Abosowo 1, 2, 3. Like I said, Nana, before we continue, no. This show is brought to you by Game Nana. It's all about networking for the game owner and gamers as a whole. Game Nana is the new way of selling used video games without the middleman makeup price. Game Nana helps video game owners save enormous discounts on video games consoles, controllers, and releases. Now until Black Friday, Black Friday, FIFA 21, Toma or boyfriend, why? It's selling for $39.99. Okotono a year, be about $59.99. So say Game Nana saw the amount $39.99 pay on Game Nana Marketplace. Go ahead, download Game Nana on all Play Store, Apple Store, and so on. Right? Nana what could be before me, man.
So, you know. I think for me, I don't agree with pointing fingers. Like, I think it's something that we should always just take out of the table.
Right.
You know, we always have to look at, you know, the core issues and how we can resolve it. Right. We have a community whereby less than, I guess, 10% are rich, and the disparity between, you know, the rich and the poor is so, like, you know, it's so glaring, so massive, right? So how can we bring the poor to you know,
some of the poor to middle class,
and, you know, eventually get to the rich, right?
Yeah.
And that should be the focus, right? So it boils down to education and opportunity.
But say no na namwan koye ya almost say namwan, you know.
That is another story. Professor McKenna about. So Kelvin, to my point, right? to my point. In order to, you know, see a change, you know, we have to make sure that there's not that favoritism. I said, "Way oh papa MP," so, you know, you have to go to school. You could get a job after, right?
Me what for there,
right? Because Oshe myself and a lot of people I went to school with,
right?
The only thing that separates me from them is opportunities, right?
But say no, so say you know, like right. say oh, you go Motown,
right? But if
I got you.
But there are people that went to my school, right? That
at this school,
right? right? I don't want to mention it, but yeah.
Oh, that was
Yeah. So they're
I said cut it out.
yeah. No, that's fine. Of course, proud Santa Claus, but there are people that went to my school, right? That I could tell you, said right now, their predicament is so bad that what separates me from them is opportunity. That if they had what I'm having right now, they would probably be doing 10 times what I'm doing right now, right? So how can we as a government, make sure saying to these kids are not left out? They can maximize their talent, and because these are the kids that will bring change to our to the country, because they are poor and they became somebody, so they know how the poor people live and how the poor man suffers, right? So they will do everything to make sure say the poor people are uplifted in life. But we are not doing that.
Before you go, right? Everything you said, I totally agree with you. When I say nobody trust out to one crap. But the thing is said, when the poor comes, upgrade him or herself to rich, right? The rich level. On my mindset, it's a son. Ja, me some be pesca ni bi then. Are we? What is it?
But I think if 2 out of 10 poor people become rich, that's the mindset. But then what if we push?
You're saying only 2 out of 10,
yeah, right? Because they're the 2 that made it. But I'm just saying, what if we push all the 10 people to retain that level of success?
I mean, the kind of sounds ideal. I mean, we should do it.
Yeah.
But it's a difficult task. I think that's what governments are, and that's what we're all trying to figure out. How do you do it?
Yeah.
If it was easy, all these countries would have figured it out already.
Right.
But I think it boils down to a few things. I mean, obviously you mentioned education and opportunity, but education they are the opportunities, really it's economic opportunities. It's about jobs. It's about work, right? And who creates jobs? Is it government? Is it entrepreneurs? Yeah, I think it's both. It's both, right? I mean,
yeah, it's both. Mm-hmm.
But governments, I mean, I always say this is what I believe in.
Right.
We can't really. I mean, there are people who should. We should all hold government accountable for what they're supposed to do. Right? They take all our taxes, all this. We elected them in office. We should hold them accountable.
Right.
But there comes a certain point where you can't do much, right? I mean, you're stuck because we elected these guys and they're there and they're doing whatever they're doing, and you might spend the rest of your life trying to get them to do something.
Right.
But I think the entrepreneurship route, that is a place where we can really, really, really have an impact.
Right.
So, quick question. So, as far as loans is concerned, and how do we help these startups, companies? And I'm talking as a government, right?
Right.
Because me buy UT Bank. I don't know if it still exists, but me buy UT Bank. I mean, but your loan now catch them saying to interest rate at 50-60%. How can I afford that? Right. So I'm telling you, man, people have the ideas. There might not be ideas that are fresh on this earth, but they have ideas. But how do we make sure we are supporting these people with financial backing, like providing financial support to these individuals at a good interest rate, so they could benefit off of it. The banks are not helping.
I think the some governments are doing some things to incentivize investors, and people to come in and do business, things like that. The banking system, obviously our credit system, which doesn't exist, which is a huge part of building any country or any economy. If there's no credit system, it's very hard to catch up to the West without credit.
Right.
So again, I try to just step back from because it's such a massive thing. It's international policy.
I think
and all of these things.
Yeah, I think so.
Intimidate. I'm saying focusing on the entrepreneurship.
Yeah, it's
private.
So the last ones.
But
before.
No.
Okay,
to your point, right? like when I'm talking, right, I'm certainly I'm focused on the people in Ghana, right?
Right.
I'm not looking at it from a standpoint of, they're not Minewo, you bet my career back home. Because
Tired of your video game? Now you can sell it and buy a new one in the same place. Game Nana is a unique platform that allows you to trade your used or new video games and accessories for a better price. All you have to do is download the Game Nana app and simply start trading. Join our free gamers community now and make extra cash in just a few clicks. Game Nana app, same games, different prices.